Hey guys, I'm back for another podcast here this Friday into Saturday. I just want to apologize straight ahead if my voice is a little raspy, a little sick sounding, and if it is, that is because I feel very sick today. My throat is definitely not on my side today, but I'm going to try my best to make a kind of an elongated video today, and into tomorrow I'll record this, but I'm going to try to make this kind of a longer video than usual. Going to try to stretch it near 45 to an hour. I might go over that. I don't know. I have a lot of topics I want to talk about today. I might not get to all of them, but I'm going to try my best to get to quite a few. The first one I wanted to cover was the Patriots, as many people say, or just the whole argument around cheating and the Patriots. I I want to bring up an interesting take on this. A couple interest. This will be just a. I don't know a ton about Spygate. I didn't really pay attention to it. It's pretty. It's kind of a straightforward thing. But here's something. The if you watch the Jets game, Jets against the Patriots. Bill Belichick. We were up 33-0 in the fourth quarter, and we set up to punt from our own 25. The announcers even were a little weirded out there. Like, interesting, why not take field goal? Well, Belichick then, instead of taking the field goal with a new kicker, again, we did not have our normal kicker at that point, as per usual, it seems. But instead of taking the field goal, he lines up to punt it from our own, or from the Jets 25, so 25 yards away from an end zone, well inside field goal range. We decide to punt, and the play clock starts rolling down. We're waiting for the punt. It's taking so long. Are they trying to draw them off sides? Who knows? But then they just let it go. False start. And Adam Gase kind of gets right away what Belichick is trying to do, trying to get better yardage for the punter to pin them back deep within their own 10 or 5. And he declines the penalty. He says, nope, I'm going to make your punter kick it very short here. And it's Belichick is like, okay. So the clock starts rolling down again when they set up to punt yet again. And it rolls down, all the way to 2 seconds. And that's when Brandon Bolden very purposely draws a false start penalty. And you see afterwards he's laughing, looking at the other Jets players, talking to him, probably telling him he did it on purpose. But then it cuts to Adam Gase, and Adam Gase is obviously annoyed. He's down 33-0, and now Bill Belichick is just having some fun. And he declines this one too. And the second he declines it, the camera switches to Bill Belichick, and he is sitting there with a little smirk on his face. And that was a kind of a sweet moment to watch as a Patriots fan, just to see that. Because you don't see Belichick smile often. Really, the only time we see him smile is when we win the Super Bowl. That's it. And that was cool. But my segue, my point with bringing this to the cheater thing is that the Patriots are going to do a lot of things that they can try to do in order to give themselves an advantage over the other team. And they're going to try their best to find loopholes in the rules. And it was obvious there that Belichick was kind of using a little bit of a loophole. Or if you look back at when Belichick, they snapped the ball into behind their own end zone on a punt. Or they lined up to punt from, I think, like the 2 or 3 in a game. It was a long time ago. But instead of snapping to the punter and punting it, they take a safety. And it made sense because they were up, I think they were up 6 or something, I don't know, 5 or 6. And it's like, well, I'd rather trust my defense from 80 yards away than from 50 yards away. It is just a really smart thing to do, and I think that Belichick is going to try everything he can do to get an advantage. And that's really my argument with Spygate, is that I think if they don't see it as unfair, they're going to go ahead and do it. But honestly, I think it was a dumb thing. I don't think we should have done that, but it's whatever. It's in the past. It's whatever. And now I'm going to talk about Deflategate, which is was the biggest thing for about 2 years. So in our Super Bowl run to I think it was Super Bowl 49 against the Seattle Seahawks, we played against the Indianapolis Colts in the AFC Championship. We pounded them down. We had points up into the upper 40s. We shut them out. It was great. And then at some point in the second quarter, a ref is feeling a ball, and some players go, hey, that ball's a little underinflated. And the refs are looking around at each other. They're like, yeah, it's pretty uninflated. It doesn't feel right. So they take it over to check it out, and it turns out it's well under PSI. Or not well under, but a bit under the required minimum for PSI in a football. And, they said that we deflated the footballs. And, it's a little interesting because we still outscored the Colts. I think it was 28 something to 7 or 0. And we destroyed them even when the balls were inflated. So I don't see why we would need the balls to be deflated, which kind of takes away the reason to deflate them in the first place. But yeah, then after everybody starts kind of freaking out about it, and then it goes to court and it gets kind of dismissed for a while. And everyone's like, all right, Brady's free. They didn't do it, whatever. And then a little while later, Roger Goodell comes out and it goes after Brady again, goes after the Patriots after it had already been dismissed. And at that point, I was like, what the heck? Why? So then they go through court. They're getting laughed out of these courts because they're like, it's such a stupid case. And Brady has a choice to take it to the Supreme Court or not. And of course, the NFL wants to because Roger Goodell can't be undermined. So Brady says it's the off season. Going into this next year, it's the off season. Trying to make a run for Super Bowl 51. How about we just drop it? Sure, take 4 games away. We'll still be there at the end of the year. I'm going to focus on the off season. I'm not going to spend half my time out here fighting a stupid case that I know I'm innocent from. And he drops it. He says, I'm not taking it there. If he wants those 4 games, let him have it. I trust our team. And we went 3-1 in that 4-game stretch, which was great. It was awesome to see. And a lot of people, a big argument with how Brady was guilty was that after Brady was after Roger Goodell said that Brady did this and said that the Patriots did this, Brady started texting or contacting his ball boy calls with the ball boy, the Patriots, during that game. And everyone's like, oh, why is he contacting the ball boy all of a sudden? What's he trying to do? Is he trying to tell him, why didn't you hide it? And everyone was like, and then people try to dismiss it, like, it's contacting the ball boy. What's the big deal? And they say, well, he hasn't contacted him for really ever before this, and now all of a sudden he's calling him like 5 times, and it's like people think so irrationally when they're out on a witch hunt. Because when you think about it, think about this. You are working at a pizzeria, right? Or you're the manager of a pizzeria. And it comes out that one of your employees stole some pizza and took it home and stole a bunch of company stuff. And the higher-ups are kind of freaking out at you like, hey, why are you letting your guys do this? Like, what, do you want a bit of pizza yourself? And you tell me, would you contact your employee to say, hey, did you deflate the footballs? Did you steal that pizza? I mean, like, if I was Brady, of course I'd be calling the guy. I'd be like, look, dude, did you deflate the footballs? And then I'm guessing on the first call, he said, no, Brady did not deflate the footballs. And then I'm guessing afterwards, Brady was kind of talking to him like, are you sure you didn't deflate the footballs? And it's just like, well, where are the calls before the game where Brady arranged for it to happen? Where are the calls championship day where he's calling the ball? Like, all right, listen closely. I need you to deflate the footballs. Yeah, I think it's really going to help us win this game. We've won a ton of games this season. We've won a ton of games for the last decade without deflating footballs. And we got this great team around us, best coach in history, and the best quarterback in history based on many statistics. I've won 3 Super Bowls. I don't think I can win this game without deflating footballs. I know I've won many other AFC championships, many other playoff games without deflating footballs, but hey, I need you to deflate these footballs for me, man. I don't think I can do it without it. Like, that just sounds so stupid. You got the best team in the league. What do you need to deflate footballs for? You're already winning all these games. You're already in the AFC championship. I don't think they would go out of their way to cheat when they're already that good without cheating. Like, what? It just doesn't make any sense to me. It just doesn't, It's like if you're acing every test in your math class, why risk cheating? Like, what's the point? You got 20 out of 20 on your last 5 math tests. You're coming up to this one, you're like, even though I aced those last 5, I'm still a little worried about this one. I better cheat. Like, what? Are you high? What's going on? Yeah, I don't know. It's laughable because it's just like, why would they? And what reason do they have? There's no incentive there. You already got a great chance to win it. Why risk it? It just seems way too dumb for them. I just don't think Belichick would do something like that. That's my look on it. I think Belichick's confident enough in his team to not do that. But yeah, it's whatever, I guess. It's whatever. You took the 4 games and you won the damn Super Bowl, so what should I care? Goodell can have his little thing. So yeah, that's Deflategate. And that's the Patriots cheating. I don't think they're cheaters at all. I really don't. I don't think they cheat. I think they play fair. I think they win games fairly. To be honest, the Patriots rarely have ref advantage, so take that one away. And it really, really annoys me. Last year, the thing that annoyed me so much, or this past off season, was all the talk about, we need to change the overtime rules. And it's like, oh my God, if Patrick Mahomes got the ball, went up there and scored, nobody would be freaking out. Nobody would be like, we need to change overtime rules. Because nobody cares if Tom Brady doesn't win. But if the Patriots win again, everyone's so tired of it, they need to find every single possible way to discredit them. And it's annoying. Like, everybody likes greatness to a point. Everybody loves to see success in the NFL. Everybody loves to see an awesome team. Everybody loved to see the Golden State Warriors, Everybody loved to see the Celtics. Everybody loved to see the Cowboys back in the day, the 49ers back in the day, Joe Montana, Jerry Rice. But they only like greatness to a point. They only like greatness to a point. It feels like 10 years was too long for them. Not to mention now we're sitting at around 19 years and running. It's like, my God, how... I understand it. If I was an NFL fan for an AFC team, I don't think the NFC teams care as much. Because because they don't have to play us every year in the playoffs, except for the Super Bowl for the last 4 years, or 3 years. But I get it. I get the whole thing of like, if the Bengals went to 4 or 5 Super Bowls, I would be tired of it. I'd be like, come on, let at least another AFC team get in. My God. But at the same time, I wouldn't stoop so low to every minute just dig through everything to find any little sliver of that was unfair. Things aren't going to be completely fair in a game like football, in a game like soccer, in a game like baseball. Any sport requires a little bit of luck. You need a little bit of luck, you know? You need a little bit of luck for that great catch in the end zone. You need a little bit of luck for that circus catch, Jermaine Kearse. You need luck for stuff. You need luck to win the toss at the beginning of the game. And it's like everybody's freaking out. And you can't expect everything to be based off of talent in a sport. The only way that happens if you create a million rules that make it so that everything is based on talent. There's no possible way to get lucky. And it's like, geez. Man, it's a sport. It's a game. And as much as it is important, I don't think we should go around saying that it's unfair for a team to be lucky. I don't think that's unfair at all. I wouldn't have been terribly mad if the Chiefs got the overtime toss, you know? I wouldn't have been super mad about that. I would have been like, well, we shouldn't have let it go into overtime in the first place. We should have won on normal. You know, in the Eagles game, I didn't sit there for 10 months afterwards complaining about all the 50-50 calls that went to the Eagles. You didn't hear a bunch of Patriots fans or the NFL, everyone who wasn't an Eagles fan, posting around saying, oh my gosh, did they pay off the refs? What is this? Nobody went around saying that. No, they praised the Eagles. And they praised the Philly special play, even though we basically ran the same play earlier that day. And it's like, God, it's just so irritating to watch as a fan of the game, as a fan of the Patriots, just a fan of the game in general even, just to watch greatness get constantly discredited by people who just hate the fact that they're so good. It's like, get better. Create. Or find a head coach that is as good as Belichick. I don't think he ever will, but try. You know, build a team. Build a structural franchise that is based off of do your job. That is based off of, not based off of skilled players. Not based around Ezekiel Elliott, not based around Lamar Jackson, but instead based around everybody doing their job. The Patriots aren't built around Tom Brady. The Patriots aren't built around Julian Edelman. They're not built around Stephon Gilmore. They're not built around their middle linebacking core. They're not built around their secondary. They're not built around the running game. They're not built around the passing game. They are not built around any one section of the team. And that's one of the biggest reasons, really, I think they're so successful. That's it. If you were to ask me what the biggest reason is, I think that's the biggest reason. With the way free agency is today, it's impossible to have such success over such a long period of time. But when you're the Patriots and you build your team in a way that you're not built around any one section of your team, and that you find guys that will do their job just well enough to win you games, it isn't all the money in the world. The Patriots have shown that. To find guys in every position that can do their job just enough to win games. They don't need to spend another $10 million to get anything extra out of you. They just need you to do your job. And players do their job in New England, and then other teams say, oh my God, nobody on our team can do our job. Let's spend $30 million on that guy. And that's right where they go wrong. If you build your team around one player, you can't expect the rest of your team to feel like they're supposed. Of course they feel like they're going to do their job, but when you're on the Patriots, and Gronk said in a recent talk show, he said, nobody's a superstar on the Patriots. And the reason for that is, if nobody's a superstar, then everybody's doing it to help each other. Everybody's at the same level. Nobody's above anyone else. Everybody is just as committed to their work. Everybody is just as expected to do their job just as well as the guy next to them. And when you have that, no guy gets left behind. You aren't sitting there relying on your offense to bail out your defense. You aren't sitting there relying on your defense to bail out your offense. Of course, you'll have bad days where one or the other doesn't do as well, but the point is you're not built around one section of your team. And when you do that, it becomes so much easier to have a revolving door season through season in those positions. Because it doesn't cost a lot to get a guy who will do his job. But if you spend half your money on 3 guys to do an amazing job, and then you spend half your money on 50 guys to do an okay job, not enough to win you a ton of games, but they do an okay job, enough to make a starting roster. Another 19 players that are just good enough to make a starting roster. That's what you spend the other half of your money on, because you don't have enough. But if instead you take all of your money and you split it out evenly throughout the team to build the best team possible, the most solid built team, then you'll win games. A team that can do enough to win will win games. The Patriots remind me of Moneyball. The movie Moneyball with Brad Pitt. True story about the Oakland Athletics. Their incredible win streak. And that team, everybody doubted them at the beginning. Because they brought in a bunch of no-names. Guys who threw weird. Guys who didn't look right. Guys who other people passed on. But they did it because they knew it would be enough to win. Not because they needed a superstar to lift up the entire team himself, but because if they got a bunch of good players, not amazing players, but good players, then the team would be amazing. The team would be good. You don't want players weighing you down. You want everybody working together to lift the entire team up. And that's what the Patriots do. That's what the Athletics did. That's why the Patriots will continue to be successful as long as they keep this mentality. And as long as Belichick is in there, and as long as Josh McDaniels is in there, I don't know, maybe Josh McDaniels takes over for Bill Belichick. But right now, as long as Bill Belichick is in there, we're going to keep finding success. We're going to keep winning games, even when Brady leaves. And that's that. I've kind of gone away from the whole cheating perspective, but back to that, the Patriots don't cheat. They're just that good. And you guys can keep trying to find ways to discredit us. But trust me, that's just fuel to the fire. That's just fuel to the fire, baby. So here to start off this podcast, I'm going to open it with a Patriots topic. And I'm also going to follow it with a Patriots topic. But I'll kind of cover a few topics that are around the NFL and also around the league or around football itself with the XFL I'll also talk about. But I'm going to start out with kind of a pregame thing for the Patriots versus the Chiefs and what I think that game is going to be like. I think it will be very interesting to see how the Patriots versus the Chiefs game goes. Patrick Mahomes is yet to beat Brady, and I'm sure he's angry because last year he didn't get a chance to beat Brady in overtime. Brady got the ball and he scored. Patrick Mahomes' defense couldn't give him another chance. And that was that. It's going to be a fun game. It's going to feel like a playoff game. It's either going to be that or the Patriots get stomped, because it's very possible that the Patriots get stomped. We can't ever seem to hold the Chiefs to a low amount of points. We haven't been able to hold Patrick Mahomes to less than 25 points, or I think it is. So I don't think we're going to hold him to less than 25 points tomorrow. Even though we're the number one defense in the league, or number two, or whatever, I don't think we're going to hold him down that low. I think it'll be a close game. I think our offense is going to rise to the occasion. But do I think we're going to win? It's 50-50. We could lose. And if we lose, we're still sitting at 10-3, but then the Bills have a shot. But then again, they're playing the Ravens, so they'll probably be 9-4. But it's going to be an interesting game. Mohamed Sanu is going to be healthy. Dorsett's going to be healthy. They were both healthy, or relatively healthy, against the Texans. They've had another week of recovery. N'Keal Harry, again, our offense is all together now. This is what we have going into the playoffs, so I would love to see a game where this offense can pull itself together and have a successful game. Really, just one successful game would be nice to see out of this offense. Last year we saw success in the offense. This year I haven't seen a game where we've been consistently successful in putting up points. Maybe the Dolphins game, but that was majority caused by interceptions by our defense. It's scary. If we lose, it doesn't look good because we haven't beat any good teams besides the Bills. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a fun game to watch nonetheless, so don't miss it. If you miss the game, then I think you're not smart. I think it's a game worth watching. I think it's going to be really, not even for, I think Patriots fans should watch every game, just naturally. But for fans outside of the Patriots, just NFL fans in general, I think you should tune into this one. I think it'll be a fun one to see. Patriots haters, if we lose, they're going to have a field day. If we win, they're going to hate it. But it'll be interesting to see if we can win. It'll be interesting to see if we get stomped on. It's 50-50 at this point because I have trust in our team that we can win. But it's just a matter of if we do it. And that's a very vague description of how I feel, but it's really the best way I can describe it. It's going to be a close one. It's going to be a fun matchup. It's going to be points scored. There's going to be battles on the defensive side. Gilmore against Tyreek Hill. It's going to be a blast to watch. Even as a Patriots fan, if we get stomped on, I'll still have fun watching Patrick Mahomes play. I like watching him play. He's a good quarterback, great quarterback. He's probably going to be a future Hall of Famer someday if he keeps play like this up throughout his career. It's going to be a fun game. A lot of scoring, a lot of fun matchups to see. We'll see how it goes. I think the running game is going to be really important still. It was important in the playoffs. It was important in both times we played the Chiefs. They're not that good against the run. So if we can pull out the run with Sony Michel and have a big game with him, I think that will be a game changer. If we can kind of control the ball the majority of the game, not let Patrick Mahomes have it for that much. The first half of the AFC Championship, 14-0, we didn't let Patrick Mahomes touch the ball that often. And when he did, we held them to no points. And that was great. So if we can do that again, I think we win. But who knows if we do it again at this point. But on to the next topic. Okay, so next up here I want to do just a brief thing on the whole Jason Garrett controversy in Dallas. Do I think he should be fired? I think yes. The Panthers fired Ron Rivera. It was yesterday or the day before. And honestly, I think it was a decent decision. It was going to be 2 straight years most likely where you don't make the playoffs. You have a lot of talent on that team. I mean, come on. I mean, if you have everything there and it's still not working, you got to make some changes other than the roster. And I think Ron Rivera being fired, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I don't think it was a terrible decision. And now with Jason Garrett being on the hot seat, kind of, Of course, Jerry Jones is kind of playing it off as nothing. But, Jason Garrett's on the hot seat. The Cowboys are 6-7. They're 6-6. I don't know. I think they were 6-6 before the Seahawks game, and now they're 6-7. You can double check here. Cowboys current record is, or never mind. The Cowboys played the Bears. My bad, on Thursday Night Football. Yeah, they got rocked. The Cowboys lost, and they are now 6-7, which means they're below 500. Now, when you have the number one offense in the league and a very good defense, and your point differential is good, you bring in more points than the Seahawks. You let up less points than the Seahawks. And they're 10-2 and you're 6-6. You put up more yards than the Seahawks and you give up less yards than the Seahawks. And they're 10-2 and you're 6-6. Doesn't make much sense on paper. And that's because even with all the talent that the Cowboys have, they've changed everything. They got a new quarterback. They got Zeke Elliott. They got skill position players. They pulled in Amari Cooper. They've got the players, both defensively and offensively. The only thing that has not changed, the only thing that has not really been moving around is the coaching. Jason Garrett is still the head coach and is still clapping away on the sideline and is still, to me, very much on the hot seat. I think that you should fire him now. I don't think you wait till the offseason. I was watching a podcaster I like to watch a lot. He actually inspired me to start this one. Strong Opinion Sports with, Strong Opinion Sports. And he goes on and he talks about, every game that Jason Garrett is in control of this team, it hurts players like Dak Prescott, like Ezekiel Elliott, like your O-lineman, your defense, Amari Cooper. It hurts them because every game that they lose, they start feeling like it's their fault, like they're not playing good enough. But they're all playing pretty good. Like Dak Prescott's no MVP, but he's pretty good. He's a franchise quarterback. And with the Strong Opinion Sports, what he said on his podcast, which you can find on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, anywhere, is that every game that he's there is hurting the skill players, any player on the Cowboys, by making them feel like it's their fault that they're losing, when it's not, when it's the coach's fault. And it's sad to watch. I completely agree with that, 100%. And I didn't really see that side of it before watching his video on that. It really opened my eyes to, if it's sad because Jerry Jones, just for some reason, is not letting go of Jason Garrett. And fair, he's had some success here and there, but you haven't won a Super Bowl with him. And that's where the problems arise. So when you have the talent and you're not bringing home Lombardi trophies, you're even sitting at 6-7, you got to get someone else out there to use that talent. To use that, because Jason Garrett ain't using it. He isn't. I mean, he is, but he's not using it in the best way possible. You need to find a coach who's going to use that talent in the best way possible, at least at a much better way than Jason Garrett is. Because that is a team that, overall, based on yardage and points, better than the Seahawks. And yet they are 4 games behind the Seahawks in wins and 5 games ahead of them in losses. Doesn't make much sense. I personally think the Cowboys have the talent to be one of the, if not the best team in the NFC right now. I believe the Cowboys should have beat the Patriots. They have much more talent than the Patriots do. Really, the only places are the defense and Tom Brady, but Zeke Elliott could have ran all over all your defense. They could have passed all. When you have a good pass game and a good run game, your offense should be killing it. And they are. They're the number one offense, but they're not winning games. It's very, very disappointing. It's just sad. I think Jason Garrett should be fired. immediately. I don't think you should wait till the offseason. I don't think you should give him one more year. I think you should get rid of him. Bring in a new guy. Bring in Josh McDaniels. I'd hate to see him go as a Patriots fan, but if that's what you got to do, Cowboys, that's what you got to do. Bring in Josh McDaniels. Bring in the Packers' old head coach. Bring in anybody that's going to be better than Jason Garrett, because Jason Garrett is just not cutting it right now. Yes, that's my take on Jason Garrett. I think he should be fired. I tried to keep it brief, and I did. 6.5 minutes. All right, so next up here, I wanted to talk about the Buffalo Bills. Who would have thought? The Buffalo Bills right now are sitting at 9-3, one game behind the Patriots for the division. Honestly, if I'm scared about anything coming up this weekend against playing the Chiefs, I'm scared for the division. We might lose the division this year. We might be a wild card team, guys. Ooh, that would not be good. I'd have a very hard time betting on a Super Bowl win for us if we were a wild card team. That is for sure. It's sad. The Bills are one game behind the Patriots. And we're 10-2, so it's not that sad. But the Bills are good. Don't discredit them. We only beat them 16-10. The Bills are very good. Josh Allen is a franchise quarterback in my eyes. He's been getting better every game this year. The Bills are just a solid team all around. They've got a good offense that can put up points, and they've got a good defense, a great defense, really. The Bills had a great defense last year, too, but we didn't see it result in many wins or an astounding amount of wins. But here, 9-3, it's pretty much guaranteed that they're going to have double digits in the win column. But here we look through their wins. They beat the Bengals, Giants, Jets, Titans, Dolphins, lost to the Eagles, Redskins, lost to the Browns, Dolphins, Broncos, Cowboys, and that's it. Let's take a look through their wins again, and let's kind of understand why a lot of people aren't paying attention to the Bills. They beat the Jets 17-16, season opener. They beat the Jets. You should beat the Jets by a bit more than that, but the Jets beat the Cowboys, so fair. The Bills beat the Giants. Okay, the Giants aren't that good of a team. They're 2-10 right now. The Jets aren't good. They don't have many wins at all. The Bengals only have one win. So there's your first 3 wins. All 3 of those teams right now are, I believe, eliminated from playoff contention. And then they almost beat the Patriots. They lost 16-10. The Patriots are 10-2. That was a good game, but they lost. And then they beat the Titans. The Titans are pretty good. And they're in the race for the playoffs. But they're not great. That was when they had Mariota. What? I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, that was when they had Mariota at quarterback. So, they were still the bad Titans. And they only beat them 14-7. They beat the Dolphins 31-21. The Dolphins. That was before they got on their kind of hot streak of good games. They lost to the Eagles 31-13. They beat the Redskins, which are a terrible team. They lost to the Browns 19-16. They beat the Dolphins again. And then they beat the Broncos and the Cowboys. So really the only impressive team they have beat this year are the Cowboys. That's it. And the Cowboys are 6-7. I mean, maybe the Titans, but that was early before the Titans put in Tannehill. So when you look at the Bills' season and who they've played, they may very well get into the playoffs at 11-5, having beat no one who ends with an over 500 record. That is very possible for the Bills. And it's something very interesting, which is why I think they're going to be a one-and-done team in the playoffs. I don't think they're going to go further than one game. My reason for that is they have yet to beat a team who is right now sitting at over 500. They've yet to beat a team that is sitting at over 500. And they're going to play the Ravens. I think they'll lose. Then they're going to play the Steelers. Honestly, it's 50-50. If they win that game, then that'll be, I think, their only game that they beat a team who ends in positive. But I don't know if the Steelers are going to end positive. I think it's very possible they end 8-8. The Patriots, they're going to lose. That's my bet. And then the Jets. So that's pretty much 2 guaranteed losses in there that I'd say. Maybe I'm wrong. But I think that's 2 guaranteed losses. That puts them at 9-5. And then 2 games, which I think they'll win. That puts them at 11-5. And unless the Steelers keep their hot streak alive with Duck Hodges, I don't think the Steelers are going to end with an over 500 record. They might end with a 500 record, but I don't think they'll end anywhere over that. In that case, you will have a playoff team who has not beat a single team over 500 at the end of the season. The Patriots might very well land in that same boat. Except for, of course, beating the Bills early on, and which I think will happen again later in the season. But the Bills have not really proven themselves against a good team this year. Sure, their defense held the Patriots to not a lot, but the Eagles held the Patriots to not a lot. The Cowboys held the Patriots to not a lot. The Ravens did, and Houston did. So, not a lot of teams have had trouble holding the Patriots to not a lot. You really just need a decent defense to do that, not a great defense. And yeah, I feel bad discrediting the Bills, but I don't think they're any more than a one-game-and-done team. You just got to look at who they've played. I just don't think they're that good. I think they're kind of fool's gold this year. I think that they're 9-3, and that's great, but they're 9-3. They're 9-0 against very poor teams, bad teams. And they're 0-3 against decent at best teams, except the Patriots, which I call as a Super Bowl contender. But it's just, they lost to the Eagles and the Browns, and it's like, oh, geez. The Cowboys are the only decent team they really beat. And if you bring up the Titans game again, they had Mariota in. The Titans, that's before Tannehill. So, I don't think the Bills are proven. I don't think they're a great team. I don't think they're anything better than a 1 playoff game loss. Maybe they make it past a wild card if they get paired up with someone like the Raiders or another bad AFC team. But I don't think they make a deep playoff run at all. I think it's 1 or 2, 1 win at best is my call for the Bills in the playoffs this year. I do think they'll make the playoffs, but I think it's a 1 win at best scenario. They could very well end 10-6. That's a very real possibility. They could lose to the Steelers, they could lose to the Patriots, and they could lose to the Ravens. It's a very real possibility. So, for everyone who has been paying attention to the Bills and is saying, oh, well, the Bills are pretty good. Yeah, watch out, Patriots. I don't think so. I don't think so. Not at all. I don't. I'm not buying it. Sorry. I'm just not. So, that's my take on that. I think the Bills they're a good team. They're a good team. Good teams beat bad teams. They've beat all the bad teams except for the Browns and the Eagles. They beat all the bad teams, which makes them a good team. But they are not a great team. Great teams make deep playoff runs. Great teams are what you watch out for in the playoffs. And the Bills, I don't believe, are a team to watch out for in the playoffs. I think they're a team to hope you play against. Because they lost to, remember, the Browns and the Eagles and the Patriots. And, we'll see. If the Ravens stomp on them, I think that's a real teller. Like, hey, if I'm a Patriots fan, I'm hoping we play them in the divisional. I'm hoping we play them in the wild card if we end up as a wild card. I'm hoping. But if they put up a fight against the Ravens, if they hold Lamar Jackson down a bit with their defense and, they make it a fight, they make it an interesting game, then maybe it'll change my mind. But to me, they're unproven. To me, they're unproven. But yeah, that's my take on the Bills. I think they're a good team. I don't think they're a great team. I think they're a one win at best in the playoff team. And that's that. Okay, so now I'm going to take a quick hop back to New England, back to Foxborough. And I'm going to talk about Brady and the possibility, there's a new take kind of going around where people are saying, Brady might retire in some place other than New England, some place other than Foxborough, some team other than the Patriots. And to be 100% honest, I wouldn't be too surprised. I mean, at this age, yeah, it's a little weird that a team would give him a starting chance. I think a team kind of in the middle, like the Chargers, that might be in need of a rebuild, that might be in need of a quarterback. I say the Chargers. I think the Chargers would be the best bet for Tom Brady. I really think they would. The Chargers or the Bengals, either one. Maybe, I don't think the Dolphins. I think the Chargers and the Bengals would be two places you might want to go. And that's because both of those teams desperately need a new quarterback. And it'd be nice to have a guy like Tom Brady on your roster starting for that quarterback's first year to learn from. Get a few tips here and there. Kind of watch how he plays from the sideline. Watch how he studies. And I think that would help a rookie quarterback a lot. I think it would help him just a lot. I think that's why teams like the Chargers and the Bengals are going to keep an eye out to see if Brady goes to free. I don't think he'll get paid a ton, but I think they might bring him in for a year just to kind of show the new guy what to do. And here's why I think Brady would like it. Because he has no reason to go give the Chargers help. He has no reason to go to the Chargers and give him a bunch of help, or to go to the Bengals and give him a bunch of help. I don't think that's why he would. To me, the reason he would do it is to be on a team that's going to help him out. Because the Patriots this year, especially last year and this year, they haven't been helping him out a lot with offensive weapons. And this year I think, would just be the knockout punch to say to Brady, like, really? You let Antonio Brown go? Demaryius Thomas? Josh Gordon? Like, what are you doing? You're helping me out here. Playing with a bunch of guys who can't run their routes right. Guys who are dropping passes. What am I supposed to do? Like, you guys care? And I think Brady, after this season, might just be inspired enough to say, look, I'm going to go to the Chargers, and we're going to see what happens. Because I think Brady with weapons would be one heck of an interesting thing to see. We saw what he did with Randy Moss. Broke the all-time receiver touchdown in a season. It was insane. The highlight reel was off the charts. It was crazy. And the Vikings didn't come anywhere near that record with Randy Moss. So we saw what Brady does when he has a nice player. Of course, the Chargers don't have a Randy Moss, but the Chargers receiving core isn't as bad as the Patriots usually is at the beginning of a season. You saw what he did with Gronk. Every year he had a good year. Gronk is a great receiving threat. And we saw it time and time again. That Brady used him well, used him perfectly. And I think if you send Brady to the Chargers are going to spend some money on offensive weapons. And to see Brady with those offensive weapons would be great. I think Brady would produce a great offense. I think that offense would be one of the top 10 offenses in the league. I don't know if they'd win a Super Bowl. I think it's possible. But I think Brady would greatly enhance any offense in this league that has other good players on it. If you have a team with a bunch of skilled players and Phillip Rivers isn't doing it for you, bring in Brady for a year. And draft a new quarterback. Just let him learn from Brady. If you bring in a guy like Joe Burrow, Trevor Lawrence, one of those guys, and you say, just watch Brady. Watch what he does. If you do what he does, you'll find success. At least some of the things he does. Keep your game, run a bit more. But just watch what he does. And they'd see his decision-making. They'd see his study of film. They'd see how he studies film, how he retains that information, how he memorizes plays and calls and things. And that would greatly improve that player's chance of success in the NFL. I mean, it'd be crazy. It'd be a crazy help. I would love that as a player in the NFL, to have that chance to work behind Brady, to work behind the best in your field, and to see how the best guy does it. I mean, it's like working behind the president to learn how to kind of find your way in politics. You're working behind the best one. That's just it. The guy who's done it for the longest, he has the most experience, he knows the game. And I think it would just be very interesting to see Brady with an offense that is insanely talented. Not insanely talented, but just talented, because the Patriots offense is not talented besides Brady. Sony Michel is not amazing. Melvin Gordon, James White has not been amazing this year. Edelman is great, but he's not amazing. You double team him and he's kind of a non-factor. Dorsett is not good. I mean, he's a good starter. Not a starter, but a good depth receiver, but he's not a starter. N'Keal Harry hasn't panned out. Mohamed Sanu was kind of a one-game wonder this year so far. Maybe he'll pan out against the Chiefs. I don't know. But, our team, we don't have a ton of talent for Brady to work with. I think that's why he's frustrated. That's why he said I'm the most miserable 10-2 quarterback ever. I don't blame him. I'd be miserable too if I was working with guys like that. I personally think Brady would enjoy kind of having some guys to work with, to kind of have some fun with, Maybe not win a Super Bowl, but you can put up some nice numbers with that offense. But overall, I just think it'd be interesting to see Brady with a team like that. He might even raise them to another level with his decision-making and the way he can lead a team. It'd be interesting to see if they were kind of still a non-factor in the NFL or if they became a playoff team. It would be very interesting. I would like to see it. If, of course, the Patriots had another option at quarterback, I'd hate to see Tom Brady go. But with the way the Patriots are kind of treating this offense, it's like, can I blame him if he does leave? And if he did, I would still enjoy watching that to see what happened. That's my take on that. I think if Brady's going to go to any team, it's going to be the Chargers most likely. Bengals are an option. But I just think it'd be nice to see him with some talent to work with. Okay, so here up next, I wanted to talk about something even out of the NFL. So I really should call this episode more around football. But I wanted to bring up the XFL. They are coming back. They were here a while ago. Not super long ago. Not like leather helmets long ago. But they were here. And they kind of died off. It's kind of a second attempt as the AAF. I think it was last off season, not this past one, but the one before that, the AAF came in and started a new league, and I watched it. I became a fan of the Orlando Apollos, and I was about 5 seconds away from ordering Orlando Apollo gear when the league fell apart. I was kind of a mixed fan. I'd say I was a fan of the Orlando Apollos, and I forgot the name of the other team. I think it was the San Diego team. I was also a fan of, but I kind of wanted to be a fan of a bad team. Thought it'd be interesting because I've been a fan of the Patriots for so long. We've been so good for so long. Felt like it'd be a little interesting to be a fan of a team that wasn't good, kind of see them rebuild a little bit. But it was sad to see the AAF fall so quickly. They just ran out of money. But what will be interesting is to see what's going to happen with the XFL. I think they'll be successful. I think they've spent a lot of time building up new rules, new coaches, new uniforms, stadiums that they're going to be playing at. I think they've spent a lot of time hyping it up, and I think that once it drops, I don't think it'll be like big ratings right off the bat, but I think if the officiating's good, if the play is good, I think it'll spread relatively quickly. I think it's hard to compete with another big source of entertainment like that. But I think it'll do good. I don't think it'll crumble and fall right away. I think it's been built smart. They've taken their time, and they've kind of built it from the ground up. And I think they'll find success. I don't think it'll be crazy success like the NFL. Maybe someday, but not anytime soon. But I do see the possibility of some fans kind of switching over to the XFL. Maybe not completely switching, but fans of lower teams like the Bengals or the Browns or the Browns have just been bad forever, but the the Bengals or the Dolphins. I mean, the Dolphins are kind of showing promise with Brian Flores as their head coach, but teams like the Bengals, that their fans are kind of just getting tired of watching losing seasons year after year, they might just look over to the XFL, see if there's an interesting, good team to watch. And I'm gonna watch the XFL. I'm gonna try to pick a team before the season begins, just so bias doesn't affect me, because it's kind of hard to start liking a team that's already good, because then you feel the constant guilt of like, oh, I only like them because they're good. But I think it'd be fun just to check out a new team in the XFL, to kind of watch their games, learn their lineup, learn what they're all about, and just watch a team start out and be new. So I'm gonna watch the XFL. I don't know if you guys are. I would if I were you guys. It'd be fun. It's gonna be fun, and I think it's gonna find success. Just because with a lot of stuff happening in the NFL right now, those fans of those lower teams, I wouldn't be surprised if they jumped right on this XFL thing and kind of rode the wagon. But yeah, that's my take on the XFL. I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens. I'm all for it, and I'm all for more football. But it's just all about it's not really about competing with the XFL. Us NFL fans, we're so used to just when football ends, when it starts up. And it's going to be kind of hard to fall into this new thing of, okay, now we got to watch football some more. And kind of becoming a fan of two teams. But you really got to target the young people if you're the XFL. You got to target these new people who are just kind of getting into the whole football game. That's who you got to target, because you're not going to get the older fans. They already have their teams. They're already watching the NFL every Sunday, every Thursday, every Monday. So if I'm the XFL, I'm targeting the younger people, younger audience. And I think if they do that, they will find a lot of success. I think really anyway, they're going to find a lot of success, because it's just an interesting league. That's my take. And good luck to the XFL. That's really all I got to say about it. It's interesting, and I'm going to watch it. And I'll come back to you guys about who I pick as my favorite team, even before the season starts, just to avoid being called a bandwagoner, as I have many times for being a fan of the Patriots. And every time I have to tell them I grew up in New England. But it's whatever. So, guys, that is the end of this one. I would keep going, but my voice is really killing me, and it's getting kind of late. I do promise that next week will be a bit longer, next Friday, and some of the episodes during the week might be a bit longer than usual, as I'm starting to get more of the hang of this. But, yeah, I love talking about stuff other than just Patriots. I try to include the Patriots still inside, but more kind of broader things that are not really in the now, but more general. More general, bigger topics. But yeah, next week I'll try to make it more near an hour to an hour and a half rather than around 45 to an hour. Right now I'm sitting around 49 minutes. So yeah, thank you for watching this. Check out my Instagram page at Your Patriots. No caps, no spaces, no underscores, no periods, just Your Patriots. On Instagram, I post daily Patriots news, Patriots questions, debate questions, anything. Sitting at 150 followers right now. Would love to get some more of you guys on there. Please sub to this channel as well. It helps to grow. Really, any subscribers, any likes, any views, just the more of those I get, the easier it gets to grow and to become something more, to get this to spread. And the more it spreads, the easier it is for me to make videos, to kind of focus more on this rather than other things, like a job, and other things like that. I'm telling you, in life, you gotta your job's gotta be something you like doing. It can't feel like a job. And right now, this doesn't feel like a job to me. It feels like kind of a time where I can just go out and just say how I feel about football, because I love talking about football. I do. Very passionate about it. Everything Patriots, everything football. It's fun to talk about. It's a very interesting sport, very interesting league. And, you know, it'll be nice if this can get up there and turn into something more. But thank you for watching. I'll see you tomorrow morning. I should see you again. I might drop a pregame. I might not. I might just drop a postgame afterwards Sunday night. I think that's probably what I'll better do. I might have a little pregame thing in here too. I'm not entirely sure. I'm only halfway done recording. I'm going to record this real quick just to have set for the end. But thank you for watching. Please tune into my other podcasts. Watch the ones you haven't seen before. I'll split this video up into different sections. I'll split all my podcasts up into those starting now. But thank you so much for watching, and have a nice day. See y'all next week.